So my name is Diane Leclerc, and I am a professor at Northwest Nazarene University, where I am professor of historical theology and recently now the director of our graduate school of theology. Unlike the rest of the book, I'm focusing particularly on women, and the chapter title is Purified by Fire, the Piety and Power of Female Affliction. And so where I go in the chapter, first of all, is to talk about the actual experiences of slave women in Jamaica just prior to when the journal was being written. There was a period of time where if you needed slaves, you just bought them off the boat, that there was still, it was legal to transport slaves over the Middle Passage. So after it became illegal to get more slaves from Africa, it became important for slave owners to use their slaves to provide the next generation of slaves. The slave owners then shifted their attention to their literal labor of children as a way of sustaining slaveholding and what it meant, particularly in Jamaica. So I spend some time there. And then I talk about Nancy Prince and her life of mothering. She grew up having to take care of most of her siblings. She heard about Jamaica by meeting David Ingram and decided that she wanted to go and help with the mission, especially in terms of educating children. And then I go to David and Betsy Ingram's daughter, Sarah, who interestingly was also a student at Oberlin, also now a missionary back to where she was born in Jamaica. And I tell her story and some of the difficulties that she and her husband had with missionaries, where she says that they had lost their Oberlin spirit, which basically meant that they had become racist themselves. So if I were to ask a question for you to begin to think about, we know that out of the rhetoric of racial issues in the 19th century, abolitionism particularly, that some of the same thinking and some of the same theology immediately morphed into the women's rights movement of the late 19th century into the earliest 20th. So what might be the parallels of racial abolitionism and our country's history with women's rights, particularly with the right to vote in the early 20th century?